Connecting, connecting, connecting. Hello. Happy Wednesday. Today's journal with me topic is staying present when things are hard. And to be honest, when I planned this topic and put it on the calendar and set it here on Substack Live, it was about a month ago. So I clearly didn't know just how much was going to feel hard for so many people right now, and how much that importance of staying present and showing up for ourselves is absolutely going to matter. So, whether you are here with me live or whether you're going to pop in as I go or watch the recording later, I hope that this helps you find a little solace and a little bit of peace and coming back to yourself when things feel hard, whatever hard means for you, whether it's in your life or in the world or a little bit of both. So, with that being said, let's arrive here right now for a moment and just take a breath. Honestly, just like just take a moment. Allow yourself that silence and that space. Honestly, just decompress. Like, feel how, like, just that sigh, that release, that somatic relief. And then the weight that comes with it. Just feel that. Allow yourself the time and space right now, if not at any other time in your day. Just right now. So, thank you for being here. Before we write, I want to name what hard means right now because it matters. When the world feels unsafe, violent, unjust, or overwhelming, our nervous systems do not turn inward first, they turn outward. And that is why we're arriving today with that breath and that energy. We're here to really take note of what it is that we're going through. So when our nervous systems are turning outward, we start asking ourselves, what is happening out there? Who caused this? Who is responsible? Who needs to fix this? Why isn't someone doing something? How do we make this stop? We externalize and we blame, we demand change. We feel powerless because everything we want feels outside of us. And then, because the pain does not resolve, something else happens. We turn that pressure back on ourselves. I should be doing more. I should be able to handle this. I should be stronger, braver, louder, calmer. I need to do something right now. This is not because you're failing. To have these feelings, to go from outside to inside, it is not because you're failing, but it is creating a lack of space and a very heavy energy for you. This is causing your nervous system to freak out instead of restore safely. And I know right now you're going, yeah, but how? How in all of this do I allow myself to restore safely without guilt or shame? I know so many of us just out there trying to live our everyday life. We just feel bad for moving on, for having an everyday life, for thinking about things, for, you know, going grocery shopping or to interviews or whatever it is that is our normal. It feels so much more uneasy and with such a weight that we've never had to really deal with before because I mean, yeah, you're seeing it all over the internet, just the shame and guilt for what seems normal at all in a world that just doesn't feel normal anymore. And that response is completely human. It is normal and it is happening to many people all at the same time. But this leads to overwhelm. And so I really want us to kind of think about that today when we do this journal together. So when threat is high, we often swing between outrage and urgency, shutdown and numbness. We want to act, but we feel frozen. We want to help, but we feel exhausted. We want certainty, but everything feels unstable. And here's the part I want to say gently and clearly. While what is happening may not be your fault, how you hold it inside yourself matters. It does matter. That is everything. Not as a moral responsibility, not as failure or success, but as the difference between reaction and response. Staying present it does not mean absorbing all of the pain. I don't want you to stay present as in glorifying the struggle or making it worse. That's not what I mean by staying present. It doesn't mean to force yourself to watch or read everything or be completely tuned in all of the time. It also doesn't mean ignoring what is happening or pretending everything is just okay. Staying present means remaining in relationship with yourself while something hard is happening around you. Presence is not about taking everything in, presence is about not abandoning yourself. So I'm going to say that again. Staying present means remaining in relationship with yourself while something hard is happening around you. Presence is not about taking everything in. It's not about abandoning yourself. It's not about dissociating or dismissing or driving up or being in it. It's just making sure that you're okay before you start deciding what it means for you and what you want to do. So the BMO shift, to use that in hard times when everything feels external and overwhelming, BMO invites a different order. Not what should the world do and not what do I need to do, but first, what is happening inside of me? We have the courage to slow it down. So, as those of you who are really familiar with the BMO practice, it begins with, that flow, with that venting, that just arriving with who and how you are and what is going on. And then we move through the funk method. And it's really important to name the nuance of feelings. You're allowed to feel angry and afraid and heartbroken and disoriented and grief stricken right now. You're allowed to be sad or to feel heavy. These feelings do not mean that you're weak or that it's too much where you can't handle it or any of that. They mean that you're human. So don't rush past them. Do not explain them away. Just notice them. And when we move from feel to deal, instead of jumping to ask, what is this feeling trying to tell me? Anger often points to a need for justice or safety. Fear often points to a need for stability or information. And sadness often points to a need for care or connection. So we talk about feel, deal, reveal, and heal, the four stages of self-discovery that happen every time you use the BMO practice, and your awareness of those stages gets better and better and better as you use the practice. You start to know which stages you're spending time in. You start to equalize the amount of time you're spending in stages. So I'm going to point that out again for those of you that are really you've been using your BMO practice to move from feelings and understand core needs and to really meet those core needs instead of trying to change the feeling, which is a major reactive mistake. It's something that causes us to repeat behaviors to burn out, to feel worse and worse. I'm going to illustrate that one more time about how feelings are information, and that as we get better at building this for ourselves and working through that funk method over and over again for ourselves, we start to realize feeling not as a trigger to react to, but feeling as the information that's interacting, feeling that is telling us what we need rather than the old MO of feeling that I don't want to have. So I'm going to do, and I'm going to do, and I'm going to do. Those attachment do's, those need to's, those anxieties and dismissals and things like that. So again, anger often points to a need for justice and safety. Fear often points to a need for stability or information. Sadness often points to a need for care or connection. So even if you don't know anything about BMO or the BMO practice or journaling in this way or any of that, I want you to carry that. I want you to understand that if you're angry right now, show up for justice or safety. If you're fearful, figure out how you can show up for your own stability and information. And if you feel deeply sad, maybe a little frozen, start with care and connection. Feelings are not instructions, they're just information. So as we move feel, deal, now we're at reveal. Now ask the most important question. What do I need for myself right now? Not what the world needs, not what others need from you, not what you should do. All of those things you can do, but those are cans. Those are things that you can get to after you have that foundation with yourself. So move that into your cans. Move that into later in the funk method. Right now we're just asking, what do I need to do for myself? Start here. This is not selfish. This is grounding. This is showing up for yourself first so that you can do more, so that you can preserve your energy and not let it be stolen from you. When you meet yourself here, your system begins to regulate. And when you are neglected, you can do more, not less. But you can also do more without the pressure. You can do more with less. So, justice, safety, stability, information, care, and connection are all part of core needs, psychological core needs, attachment core needs. And so the next thing that we're going to do, and typically I don't talk all about like the BMO practice. Typically we just sit in these sessions and we journal together, and I hold that space for you because it's a journal with me session. But right now the world is we need so much. So I'm hoping to help you with that today. So you're going to take those needs for things like justice and safety. And now I want you to just meditate with what you can do, what you can do, not what someone else needs to do, what's not what someone else is or isn't doing, what someone else can do. What is it that you can do, not to save the world, not to change the world, not to make it stop? That's really, really big. And while you may get there, and I am sure you absolutely can change the world, I want to remind you it starts here. Changing the world starts here. So, what can you do to meet your need for justice, for safety, for stability, for information, for connection and care? So, ask yourself, what can I do? Not must, not should, just can. I can rest. I can seek clarity. I can reach out. I can show up locally. I can stand for something that matters. I can take one small, meaningful action. Allow yourself to list things that you can do that you no longer want to do. Release yourself of that by allowing yourself to list it. I can do nothing. I can hope. Release yourself from that. Like, did you ever used to play, like, as a kid when you would do eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and then you'd land on something and be like, oh, that's not actually the one I wanted? It works in the same psychological way to write what you can do and add to that choice what you no longer want to do. I can fight. I can be against. I can yell at the people that I love. I can project it. all of those things. It releases you because you take note of it. It shows up differently. Action that comes from regulation becomes a secure response. It's different. That's how you show up different, literally. It sounds like I'm okay. We're okay. Let's do this together. So, right now, we're going to take the opportunity to journal for a little bit. We're just going to have some time. We're going to hold that space. If you have your BMO journal with you, open it. You don't need a BMO in order to do this space together. Just use a piece of paper. I'm currently onto the blush pink BMO journal. It's kind of my vibe of self love in this near February season. So if you're using paper or notes or using your computer, that's perfect too. There's no right or wrong to show up for yourself. So you can sit here with me or you can set yourself a timer for 15 minutes. And I want you to write without editing. Don't edit yourself. Just be, just let it flow. If you have venting and anger, let it flow. If you're feeling frozen, start to say anything. Allow yourself to say anything. I don't care if you end up writing your grocery list. Just allow yourself to be in this space. And to get there, I'm going to ask you a few questions, just quick answers that you can jot down to help you arrive in this presence, arrive in this place when it's so hard. So, first, I'm going to ask you right now, what feels hard to hold? So, just take a moment to write that. Can be one word or one sentence. Next question. What am I feeling in my body as I sit with this? Third question. What does this feeling tell me about what I need? Fourth question. What is already steady or met in this moment? And the fifth question, if I respond to myself with compassion, what can I do next just for today? So now that we've arrived slowly through that set of questions. Now that we're here on the page together, I invite you to take two different routes because if you've heard me speak before, I'm very, very picky about how the mental health industry asks you to have a problem, to be in a bad place before you can ask for help. And BMO absolutely is not that way. So there's always a route to go positive, as well as a route that will hold space for what is heavy. So today I'm giving you two routes depending where you are, where you genuinely are, and what it is that you need to let go of today. So if you feel a need for presence and hope first and foremost, if you just want that okayness and wanting to be in a good place, write this. Your prompt for today is when I stay present with myself, even when it is hard, I am. If you feel a need for venting and getting out on the page and being angry and letting an overwhelming emotion go, start here. Imagine all the people. Let yourself write your own expression inspired by John Lennon's song, but as your own, in your own way. You can write it as a poem. You can write it as a free flow. You just go, just let it go. You don't even have to know the song. Just go with imagine all the people. So again, if you're in a completely hopeful place and you just want more and you want more hope and you want good in this place and you just want to rise and feel better right now, then write, when I stay present with myself, even when it is hard, I am dot dot dot. When I stay present with myself, even when it is hard, I am dot dot dot. And if you have a need for venting and anger and getting it all out, start with that or begin with imagine all the people, dot, dot, dot. Allow it to change, allow it to ebb and flow. If you decide to move in and out of a story, to stop writing a story, to start drawing, I just want you to sit with it in your own way and allow it to be straight on or all over the place, whatever it is that your mind and body needs right now. Give it 10 minutes, give it 10 more minutes. Let the words come. Let it be imperfect. Let it be honest. And we'll do that together. So I'm going maybe do a little bit of both. So I'll be here with you for 15 minutes or 10 more because we already did 5.
If you're familiar with the BMO practice, whenever you wrap up, if you happen to wrap up before the 10 minutes, just continue with your funk method and your purposeful positives. And if it takes you more than 10 minutes to work through this prompt or both prompts, then give yourself that extra space to continue. Make sure you go through every aspect of funk and really recognize where you are now and what it is that you need. Make sure that you come back fully grounded and present with your purposeful positives. If you can't find a lot that feels really positive right now, you can use your BMO extras for a little more guidance, but you can also just dive in with some five senses. Just note the things around you that you see and smell. Note what it looks like outside the window. Just bring yourself back into the room as best as you absolutely can. And we'll continue to hold space here for anyone that is still writing. We have about 5 more minutes.
Okay, that's been 10 more minutes. You can continue writing if you are still writing. You can continue working through your funk method and purposeful positives if you're continuing through your own BMO practice. And just give it a massive exhale. Thank yourself for arriving today, for giving yourself a chance to regulate in the middle of a very difficult thing and a very difficult world right now. Our lives, our personal lives are already hard enough often. So give yourself credit for showing up and choosing to soothe, choosing to do it differently, choosing to arrive at the information of self before anything else. So if you're curious about the BMO practice, you can get your own BMO journal. It teaches the whole BMO practice at the front of it, at the front of every journal in 13 different colors. You can learn all about the stages of self-discovery. You can learn all about how to do it in those BMO extras. And then it just gives you the space to do it, unlike a workbook that would put you into a square. There are no squares here. So you can do that, or if you're not a journaler, if you're not a writer, if you're not into anything like that, there are many other modalities. There are desktop planners, things like that. Um, but if you don't, if you just, you don't have to buy anything. It's not what I'm here for. If you have any other desires to work through the funk that you're going through, to learn more about the funk method and start your own BMO practice, I am doing these sessions weekly. I'm doing journal with me sessions every other week, and then I'm doing educational sessions in between. So I urge you to subscribe and to show that you're interested to be notified of these events. But also, I hold workshops and events that you can find at bmojournal.com/events. Our next one is all about speaking your way through the funk practice with those that you love, just in time for that self love season that is Valentine's. And I do mean that self love season. I don't think you have to be in a relationship with anybody other than yourself in order to arrive in that and know how to voice what it is you're going through and what it is that you need. So you can join us for that event or local events or these free events here on Substack. As always, thank you. If you're willing, take a deep breath, let a little bit go. You do not need to carry the whole world. You do not need to carry it alone. You do not need to be untouched by what is happening in order to survive. And you do not need to disappear inside of it either. Staying present is an act of care. Care for yourself first and foremost. Care for yourself first and foremost. Care for others. Care for the future. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up. And thank you for practicing presence, especially when it is hard, because it is so hard right now, and you are not alone. And I will see many of you again next week and a whole bunch of you for our last week 4 of our New Year's workshop. And that last week is this Sunday. So I will see you all there. If anyone would like the workbook and recordings from that 4-week New Beginnings workshop, you can also get that at emojournal.com/events. And I will see you all online. Please let me know if there's anything that you need or anything in particular you want to dive into, and we will go over that in upcoming events. So I will see you there. Bye bye.